Okay, in this video I just want to show you some quick ideas about animation and putting these blocks together to make something um, happen, make him dance, make him grow, make him do something interesting. So I would say your best friend is going to be here in the Events tab, and you want to say, I don't know, we'll say when somebody clicks this sprite. Now basically you've got a few things that you want to deal with. You want to deal with motion, make him move, you want to change the way he looks, and you want to play some sounds. These are going to be these top three things are going to be where you spend most of your time. So most kids, when they get started, they want to say, okay, I want him to turn one way, I want him to turn the other way. But when you do this so quickly, right? Notice this, when I run it and I press it, ain't nothing happening. Something's happening, but it's just happening so quickly that you can't see it. He turned and turned back, so think about almost like positive and negative numbers. These cancel each other out. Now, one of your other best friends is this guy. He's in the control tab, and you don't have to say 15 seconds or 1 second. You could even say half a second or a quarter of a second. So you have control over that. But watch what happens now. If I say turn one way, wait and let people see that you did that, and then turn the other. This way, when I click him, ooh, very exciting, right? This way I get to actually see that. So you may need a wait block in there to make things just, a little more visually appealing. Now watch this. If I wanted to, well, let's do this. I'm going to borrow this duplicate. If I wanted to, I could, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, I'm going to borrow this wait block again. I'm going to use this duplicate. Now, I'm going to show you one way you can accomplish this, and I'm going to show you the smart way. So this is a lot of dance steps he's going to do. Very exciting, right? So he turned and turned back several times. Now what I'm going to say is if you want him to do the same thing several times, I would not program that several times. Toss that in the trash. What I would say is put all that in some beautiful loop. And so instead of you writing it so many times, you write it once and repeat it. Whoops. And so you repeat that over and over again, even though you only wrote that dance step one time. So using pause or wait blocks can be very helpful. Using a repeat block can be very helpful. Of course, you want to like play some sounds too, right? You could play some sounds. You could play drums. You could do whatever you want. You could write your own song. Really, you could play, change your instrument. To the flute, you could play certain notes. So if you wanted to like compose, anyway, you could get as crazy as you want to with sounds, but you want to include some sounds. You also want to make sure that you include changing the way he looks. Now, I think this is one of my favorites in the looks, your next costume. So you could, I'm just going to throw this here real quick. This way, he can change, that's kind of generic. He looks like he's having a seizure. But if you put a little more time and effort into what's going on, you can make him look like he's walking, you can make him look like he's dancing, you could be changing his costume. Now, I'll say this, your costumes are a great way to change the way he looks. You also have these really interesting color and size effects. So you could say, I'm going to grab my pause again. So you have all these size effects. Well, I said we had these size effects. I'm going to change his size, and then I want to set the size back to 100%. 100% is his normal size. So this says when I click him, tell him to grow a little bit, wait, and go back. So you could also do, you have complete control over what you type in there and what size. You could even do a negative size. So you could do all sorts of things. Of course, you could wrap that up into any kind of a loop that you want. You could don't forget there's hide and show blocks. Just make sure you make him show back up, otherwise he'll be invisible. So I could tell him to get smaller. Whoops, I should have put a pause in there. I could have told him to get smaller, wait a second, hide, wait a second, and come back normal size. So you can do all sorts of whatever you want. You could go a little crazy and have him, I don't think you really need that to happen 10 times, but you could have it happen 10 times if you want to. Now, another really cool thing that you might think about with your looks is you've got costumes, you can change your size. You can also do some pretty cool color effects. And I'm going to grab that weight again. So if you want him to go a little crazy, your color effect, you can change this number to get different results. And then setting your color back to 0 makes you go back to normal. So you could put all these things together. You could use these things on different sprites. You could do whatever you want. You don't have to use the cat, by the way. Don't feel like the cat is your best friend. So you can change your color. You can change your size. You can change all sorts of things about you. Now, what I also want to say is your backdrop. You can change your backdrop somewhere. I could say that's in your looks. I keep deleting my weight block that I really need. I could say when you click him, he's going to go to the beach and come back to the bedroom. And so just with a weight block, you could make that happen as much as you want. And if you do in a loop, you could have it go really crazy and have like a strobe light effect. But anyway, you just want to make sure that with all these, you want to make sure you go back to normal as well. So you want to go back to the bedroom, you want to go back to your normal size, you want to go back to your normal color. But as far as your motion and your looks and your sound, don't forget to include sound. You're going to love all these things. You're going to get creative and you're going to put them all together and you're going to make some kind of awesome collage about yourself. And I'm going to be impressed with it and it's going to be beautiful.